So, hello, Gemini, and welcome back to Divine Rebel. My name is Racey, and I'm going to be giving the messages for you today. They are general messages, so take them as they resonate and leave them if they don't. If they don't force them to fit. There are plenty of other wonderful readers that just might resonate more with you at this time. For those of you who are not familiar with me or the channel, I have no filter and I don't sugarcoat my messages. So if that is not your thing, or you have children around, or you just don't appreciate that kind of a message, I'm always very respectful of that, and I'm giving you the opportunity to sign off now. Otherwise, this is for Gemini suns and those with very significant or strong Gemini placements in their chart. If you know what house that Gemini rules and what's in there, it could give you some specific insights into certain areas of your life. All right, so I'm using my Icarus Tarot, my Naked Heart Tarot, and my Sacred Rebels Oracle. All right, so Spirit, please, for Gemini and Geminian energy, what is the archetypal milestone that they're achieving in the month of September? Right, what is the archetypal milestone and the energy that they're focusing on mastery of, moving through? Okay. High Priestess was on the bottom. All right. Very intuitive energy. Like you already kind of sort of sense the healing process. So this isn't going to be a surprise to you. We have the Emperor and the Judgment card. Gemini, the way I'm feeling this energy. So if you look at the Emperor, he's pulling his shirt back and showing you the bones, right? His rib cage, but there's nothing in there. It's heartless. So there's a part of your energy, that I don't want to say is heartless because it just sounds harsh. But with the Judgment card next to it, this is the resurrection of old issues that you are maybe perceived as being heartless, right? Obviously, you are not a heartless person, but there may be moments where you come off or are perceived as heartless, okay? Likewise, you could be perceiving somebody else as heartless, right? But everything is in the divine mirror. So if you're feeling that way about somebody else, it's because a part of you is reflecting back that facet of yourself that you are displeased with, you know, that you maybe have given into in the past, right? Because the Judgment brings up past energies. It's a past card. It's a resurrection of past issues. So, and it's very fiery, right? This is Aryan energy, so you might have really strong or significant Aries placements in your chart. You might want to watch the Aries reading. Likewise, if you have strong Scorpio in your chart, you might want to watch Scorpio and understand how that pertains to you, okay? This is the energy I'm getting is very aggressive, and the way that I want to describe this, it's almost wanting to prove how cold and heartless you can be, right? It's almost like getting angry, the shadow of Aries energy, getting angry and not caring, okay? And not caring, getting angry and not caring. But getting angry and not caring always leaves you upset and alone and in this fetal position at night where you cry yourself to sleep kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like you get this, it's the transformation of this vicious energy and understanding that when you go into this heartless, angry place, the other side of you, Gemini, right? Because this one side is very volatile. The other side is very hurt, right? It's very hurt, and we project that hurt and blame on other people when really it's this energy within us that's creating the sadness of the reality, right? So this is about understanding how you can better take charge, making better choice actions, right? The light of Emperor energy is making highest good choices, knowing that you have to be the bigger person. You can't snap and be angry. You have to find a ground where you can maintain the stability of what you have, right? Without burning it to the ground and losing it all, right? These cycles of getting angry and burning things to the ground and then being stuck or left in the loss energy of having nothing left because it's all been burned, right? Getting out of really, really intense sabotaging energies, being disconnected from yourself, because it's almost like, are you an angry, heartless person? You'll say no. Okay, but then you can't be an angry, heartless person sometimes. You either are or you aren't, right? You either are a heartless person or you're not. If you're choosing one or the other and going, and that's fine, then you're either a heartless person or you're not. But if you're flipping back and forth at all between the two, then you're fickle. Right? And if you are fickle, you aren't dedicating yourself to better than this. Because you're either going to be angry all the time and burning things all the time and completely okay with that to where you don't feel upset, or you have to evolve and become stable in a champion energy where you're choosing a specific way of being that is not volatile, right? All right. With that gem, let's keep going. Let's get some insight from the Naked Heart Tarot. What does this look like, right? What does this actually look like in the month of September for Geminis and strong Gemini energy, right? Strong Gemini placements, North Node's in Gemini right now. This is the truth of things, right? Understanding the truth of things, the facts that you've experienced, right? With your own eyes, right, in your own mind, that you've perceived it a certain way, and not distorting them, right? Not distorting them to fit an egoic narrative, not distorting the thoughts and the facts for a specific narrative that is painful to repeat, but actually looking at the facts of what's in front of you that's in your favor, right? The facts that are actually in your favor that your ego might want to snap on, but it's not something you actually want to lose, right? It's not actually something you want to lose on a soul level. You do not want to lose this. You do not want to lose this. It hurts. And so it's about getting this energy in check. What does this look like, Spirit, please, for the month of September for Gemini and energy? This look like for September? What insights? Yeah, the Judgment card again with the universe. This is closing a very huge cycle, Gem. Huge cycle. Like, you need to be able to receive the sweetness in life. You can't, it's like this all or nothing energy, right? It's this all or nothing energy. You want it all, and if you can't have it all, you'll burn it all. And then you lose everything, and you're like, well, damn, like, I might have not had it all, but at least I had something. You know, and so it's looking at your past missteps and transformation and choosing to finally escape those old toxic cycles that leave you feeling ugly, that leave you feeling like you can't get anything that you want, right? That leave you feeling without, closing this cycle and becoming the queen bee, right? Or the divine feminine energy that manifests the sweetness of experience. Big cycle energy. Saturn energy. And Saturn has been aspecting on the North Node in Gemini. Like, this is a complete rewrite, Gem. This is a complete rewrite of everything that you've been doing, right? All of your old patterns, they're not going to fly anymore because they're painful. Your soul doesn't want to be in pain anymore. And so there's a certain amount of acceptance of this transformative energy where you have to be the bigger person. You have to be the bigger person than your old version. You have to be a better version of yourself moving forward. Otherwise, you're going to end up in a really, really painful spot, right? Reliving old cycles that sting, right? So the choice is yours, Gem. Which side of your twin duality do you want to fall on, right? Do you want to fall back on anger and pain and repeat anger and pain, or do you want to move into evolution and being your best version, right? Greeting your higher self, which is the other side of the Judgment card, right? Really becoming your best possible self for all of the people in your life that you love and care about, that don't want to see you angry or upset, right? There's people in your life that don't like seeing you angry or upset. And so it's really understanding this cycle, right? Especially with family, because the Judgment card can also be linked to family, right? Because it's usually the resurrection of old family issues or family dynamics, whether it's your own personal family or families that you've created, families that you've become a part of, right? That aren't necessarily your direct family, whether they're blood or their soul tribe. It doesn't matter. This is about you getting past burning bridges, right? Getting past anger and burning bridges. Yeah, the Spirit of Swords or the King of Swords, because you got to see the bigger picture. This isn't about what's angry and not working in the moment, right? How you're frustrated in the moment because something didn't go according the way you thought you wanted to see it go. This is seeing the bigger reason behind it, because if you're learning a lesson about your temper, right? If you're learning a lesson about a temper, or making bad judgment calls, right? Making bad judgment calls with the Judgment card and the Emperor, who's a shot caller. Like, you might be making really bad judgment calls have made bad judgment calls in the past. Bad judgment calls on how to react, bad judgment calls on choices that you've made, paths that you've chosen, the reckless, and, the opposite light of the Emperor, right? The shadow of the Emperor is reckless, not thinking things through, and just being reactive. And so this is understanding there's a reason why that fails every time, and seeing the bigger picture, seeing the higher perspective and the positive that can come from being the bigger person and not getting angry, but being accepting, allowing the ego, right, to really be humbled, because you were learning this lesson. And everything that transpired is helping you learn how to not lose your head, how to not lose yourself anymore. You're going to choose which self you want to be, and you're going to stick to that, because you're not going to be fickle, right? Being fickle creates burned bridges and turmoil, right? Sadness and grief and loss. Being fickle can't manifest anything because it's not committed. It goes back and forth. And so your life goes back and forth between good and bad and good and bad and good and bad, because sometimes you're your best version and sometimes you're not. And so your life is sometimes its best version and sometimes it's not. So you just have to pick your best version and stay there. And stay there. Don't blow your top. Don't lose your head. Be the bigger person, see the bigger picture, you know what I mean? And allow yourself to finally create a reality where you're not losing, right? Where you're not losing, but you're able to build, right? Because the Emperor builds. He builds a very stable, prosperous kingdom, right? Which is life. It's life. Okay. What else, Spirit? Anything else? All right, so the bottom of the deck is the Ace of Cups. So you can look forward to new love coming in at some point. And the Naked Heart, 99% is not 100. When you tune in to 99% is not 100, you can't be an asshole 1% of the time and think it's going to fly with the divine. You're still fickle. You didn't commit to your best self. You're still an asshole 1% of the time, right? And burning things that don't need to be burned and saying, I don't have it all the way that I want, so I'm not going to have any of it at all. And if I can't have my way, nobody's having their way either. Like, that energy cannot exist. 99% is not 100. When you finally reach that moment where you accept you cannot go back to your shadow self, you can't go back there if you want to be fucking happy and filled. If you want the love of your lifetime that is fucking stable. It's your lifetime partner. If you want that kind of commitment and love, you got to be committed to your best version and nothing else. 99% is not 100. So with that said, we get the story of the Eight of Pentacles. It takes effort when your ego is blown. It takes effort when the reality of the truth cracks the tower open. You know what I mean? This is the Tower card. This is an epiphany or a realization of the fact that an effort is being made to clear what's faulty in the foundation, right? Because if there's something faulty or cracked in the foundation, this divine lightning is going to raise it to the ground, right? It's going to level it. If the foundation was solid, this lightning wouldn't affect it at all. So the spirit, right, the divine is showing you there's a flaw. There's a flaw in the foundation that the Emperor, right, the Sky Father is back, the Emperor needs to work on. There's a flaw in the foundation of the self that the effort needs to be made, because this is your own inner masculine energy, because we're all masculine and feminine both. We're in that duality. This is your own masculine energy that needs to understand. It needs to raise its vibe. It needs to choose better, higher choices for the self, because that's when your heart space, right? The Queen of Wands, the Queen of Fire, that's when your heart space, your spirit takes off, because you're in alignment and you get the transformation of the pure self. You become the pure self, escaping these dark cycles. You completely transform. You blossom out of an innocent and pure state. This skeleton, right? Two completely different decks. This skeleton that was sad and grieving starts to bloom out of this pure and innocent, unconditionally loving vibration that comes from being and choosing your highest, best self at 100. You will never go back to that old version, because that old version has never served your happiness. It's never served your growth. You've never gotten off that square one. Whatever this lesson was, whatever you've been trying to create in your life that's beautiful, right? This love that's beautiful, this ideal reality, it's not coming into form, and that's because you haven't truly come into your best form and committed to your best form. So, Gem, what is the guidance? What card above all other cards does Spirit want to leave you with at this divine time that you're catching this message? What does it want to leave you with? Best guiding advice for Gemini and Geminian energy for the month of September. Yeah, what comes around goes around. When you put out anger and grief on people, that comes back to you, right? Everything comes back around. Likewise, when you are understanding and compassionate and working with the highest good, that also comes back to you. This is the spiral of manifestation, right? Everything that you put out comes back. All of your intentions that are set for yourself to be created do cycle back around for you to achieve, right? If you didn't achieve it the first time, you get another opportunity to achieve it. Especially once you've learned the lesson and you realize everything you already have is the blessing. If it's not everything you wanted the way you wanted it, it's better than nothing. You already have what ends this crazy cycle if you don't ruin it with your anger. You already have someone or something that is gifting you with a completely different story to tell. It's a completely different story. You already have it. Your anger could sabotage it, right? Could sabotage the gift. Wow, a butterfly just literally flew by my window. This is your time to transform, Gem. This is your time to transform. Be so grateful for the heaven-sent gift that you already have from someone or some experience in your life or multiple experiences, and don't let your anger blow it. You're going to lose more than you think, right? Your anger will cost you. Your anger will cost you. That's the lesson. Don't repeat it. With that said, if you want more from me, all of my information is in the description box below. Until next time, guys, Divine Rebel Racey signing off. Remember always to love each other and most importantly, love yourselves. Bye, everybody.